What's up guys, it's Tizzer, welcome to the video. UFC 285 is this weekend and in this video I'll be breaking down the entire card and my picks and predictions for every fight. This looks like a great fight. I was counting through it earlier and there's at least 9 fights on here that I think will be killers. So I can't wait and yeah, it couldn't come any quicker to be honest, especially considering how bad the recent UFC events have been. But this one will be good, I'm sure of it. And without further ado, let's get right into the predictions. So starting off with the early prelim opener of Esteban Ribovic versus Loic Radzhabov. We're going to be going with Ribovic here. He got a finish on the Dana White Contender Series. He's undefeated. I think he's 8-0 or 9-0 maybe. And yeah, the other guy that he's fought has got a few losses. And to be honest, there's not much data you can get about these guys. It's hard to find their footage and stuff like that. But I'm going to be going with Esteban Ribovic. I think he's better. I think he's more well-rounded from what I've seen. And yeah, I just don't think Loic's going to be ready. The only people he's beating aren't really pro fighters, if you will. They're more amateur. But yeah, so that's that for the early prelim. Moving on up, we've got Damon Blackshear versus Farid Basharat. I'm going to be going with Basharat here. It's his debut fight. He's undefeated as well. And Damon Blackshear he's basically getting fed to the line here. I'm not saying he can't win, but my pick is Farid Basharat. He's young, he's good. He's got cardio, good hands. He's decent on the ground too. And yeah, I think this fight is for Damon to lose. Really, the UFC have done it on purpose. You know how they do it. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on these fights. I want to get straight to the big fights. So we're going to be moving up onto the first women's fight of the card. Got Jessica Penne versus Tabitha Ricci. Yeah, go with Tabitha Ricci. I'll be going with that Tabitha Ricci for this card. She can take people down, so she'll win, I'm sure. And if you look at Jessica Penne, she can't stop takedowns, and Tabitha Ricci can take people down. So I'm going to predict a round 3 submission for this fight. No, sorry, a decision for this fight. I think Tabitha will just keep on taking her down. It will just be a really big snooze fest. But, you may as well. It's an easy win bonus for Ricci, and I think that's what she's going to do. Just to make the job especially easy, and I don't think Jessica Penne's going to be able to stop the takedowns. Moving on up, Martinez versus Saaiman. I'm going to be going with Saaiman on this one. He's quite a big favourite, and I kind of get it. He's undefeated, he's young. And Martinez takes so many strikes per second. I think he takes more punches than he actually lands per minute, which is really bad when you're coming against someone who's fresh. They're probably going to have speed advantage and stuff like that. And also, he just doesn't look that big for the division. I don't know. Something about the way he's built. He just looks small, so he might just get weight bullied around. But yeah, I'll be taking Saaiman on this one. We'll go with a decision win, I feel like he'll be better, but you won't be able to find the finish. And then he can move on and develop his skills because he's only still young in the UFC. Moving on up the card, we've got our first really good fight of the night, I think. Ian Machado, Garry versus Song Kanan. And I'm going to be going with Ian Garry on this one. Song Kanan isn't a bad fighter. He's beat a few okay people. But he's had a 2-year layoff. And I think he's got 3 wins in a row. But the momentum you gain from 3 wins in a row, and I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them are by finish, the momentum you gain from them 3 wins is kind of lost having had a 2-year layoff. And I don't actually know why he's had a 2-year layoff. But if it's an injury, it just makes my pick in Ian Garry even stronger. Ian Garry's just good. Keeps his distance on the outside of the pocket with kicks. He's pretty reachy, I'm pretty sure. And in all his last fights, he's just never looked in trouble. I think he's lost like 1 round in the entirety of them. He's just a really good fighter, to be honest. Really promotable for Ireland. He could be the next Irish superstar, They're building him up slowly. They could have given him a spot in the prelims, I think. I think the early prelim, I know it's the finale for the early prelims, but I don't know. They could have put him on the prelim opener maybe. But yeah, I think Ian Garry's going to be able to get the job done in this one. I think we're going to go for a 3rd round TKO for Ian Garry. I think he's going to have lots of volume. And Song's layoff is not going to help. He's going to have a bit of ring rust, a bit of octagon jitters, And I feel like he might gas in this fight, and he's just going to be getting tagged and tagged and tagged. And I think eventually Garry's going to land one. I know he's not got the biggest power punches in the world, but I think eventually he'll land a good punch, and that is when he'll be able to find a finishing sequence. So yeah, we're going to be going with Ian Garry to win by round 3 TKO. Moving on to the prelim opener, I've got Julian Marquez versus Marc-André Barriault. Not going to lie, Marc-André Barriault, every time I watch him fight, I'm disappointed. I don't think he's a very good fighter, no disrespect. I just watched his fight against Hernandez, and he was really poor. It was a snooze fest, and nothing really happened in it. But the guy he's fighting is also bad. Marquez is not good at all. He's got a lot of bad losses on his record. So we're going to be going with Marc-André because, I mean, he's won some fights of higher caliber opponents than Julian. And I'm just going to be going on that. You know, it's really unpredictable fight because they're both kind of unpredictable in how good they'll be on the night. Because they're very hard to predict how they will fight just because of how inconsistent performance-wise they are. But I guess you just have to go for Marc-André Barriault because of the slightly better caliber opponents he's beaten. But he's also lost to a lot of them as well. So not a hugely confident pick, but we'll be going with him to win the decision round 3 or maybe get a round 1 early submission. I don't know. He can do stuff like that sometimes. Moving on up the card, Viviane versus Amanda Ribas. I was going to say Viviane, but then I remembered how old she is. So, and also, we're going to be going with Amanda Ribas. She hasn't really beaten anyone good. I think one of the last people she beat was, what's she called? Paige Van Zandt. And we all know that she's had a very bad career recently. So if that's your last win, it's not aged well whatsoever. But Viviane Araújo, she's really old. She's 36, which for a women's fighter I think is quite old. And I think you're definitely out of your prime by then. And she's got a really bad record as well. She's got a lot of losses. I think she's got 5 or 6 losses. I just don't have any confidence in her. And I think she's just coming for the paycheck, to be honest. I mean, they both know that they can't get near the belt, even though she's number 9. I just don't think she'll be able to do it. And we're going to be going for Amanda Ribas by decision. Okay? I think she's going to be slightly better. She's probably going to take her down, to be honest. Or just win mediocre striking exchanges. Anyway, moving on up the card, another good fight. I think this one will be good. We've got Derek Brunson versus Dricus du Plessis. And I'm going to be going for Dricus du Plessis on this one. Derek Brunson is past it. He had his little blonde Brunson moment where he beat people he probably shouldn't have. But after the Kanan loss, I don't think he'll ever be the same. I think that was a nail in the coffin for him. And he's so sloppy on stand-up. Like, don't get me wrong, Dricus du Plessis, his stand-up isn't that good either. He was getting kind of pieced up by Darren Till on the feet. But, yeah, Derek Brunson's, he's got really, really bad stand-up, and his power is not that good either, so I can't see, like, a flash knockout either on Dricus. But, yeah, the only chance I think Derek has of winning this fight, maybe, is if he doesn't do anything for the first 2 rounds, just kind of stands there, sponges damage, and Dricus gasses, because he does have a bit of a gas problem maybe after that Darren Till fight, but he was going really heavy on volume in those first 2 rounds or so. And yeah, I just can't trust Derek Brunson to win a fight anymore. His takedowns are not even good, even though he's a wrestler. And most of the ones he's ever got on any decent opponents are off like lucky trips and scrambles and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to be going with Dricus du Plessis to win this. I think he's probably going to... I think he's going to sub Derek Brunson. He's very sloppy in takedowns, like I just said. And he gasses as well as Dricus. So if he keeps on shooting and shooting and shooting, he's going to get sloppier and sloppier and sloppier. He's going to gas. And eventually I just see him shooting and getting submitted. Probably from a guillotine. I know Dricus has tried to pull them off in the past, and he's quite strong as well. And also, I don't really think Derek Brunson's going to bother fighting it. He knows he's not getting the belt, and I'm pretty sure he'll be retiring if he loses this fight. So yeah, we're going to take Dricus du Plessis to win. We're going to go third round submission, I think. Derek's head is not in the game anymore, and I think he doesn't care enough to actually try in this fight. And he's past his prime as well. Moving on, up the card, another good fight. See, I told you, this card's full of good fights. Cody Garbrandt versus Trevin Jones. And I don't know. Cody no-chin Garbrandt, a very unreliable fighter, versus Trevin Jones, who actually can knock people out, especially people with no chin like Cody, but doesn't throw punches. His strike differential is awful. He lands about two every minute and takes 4, even though he's got power. He's very afraid to get countered, which I guess against Cody is probably going to be even worse, because to give him credit, his counter punching is probably his best asset. We've seen it. He's being backed up against the cage, landing killer knockouts. So I feel like this probably complements Garbrandt's style. He's not going to have a big threat of getting KO'd if Trevin's not going to throw. And I think the more Cody lands punches, the less Trevin's going to want to throw, which is not going to be helpful for him because he doesn't throw punches anyway. So we're going to be going for Garbrandt, but again, I'm not confident in this pick just because of Garbrandt's chin. It's so unreliable. And again, his performances are weird. He obviously fought at flyweight recently, but he's back up to bantamweight now. So he won't be depleted for the cut, but I still think he isn't going to win this fight. No, I think he will win this fight, but I can't guarantee he'll win this fight. And I'm just worried that he might get flash KO'd again, but hopefully not. Because, he was obviously at one point, he was a really, really good bantamweight. So it'd be a shame to see him getting chinned by guys who are never going to get ranked. So my prediction is we're going to go for Cody Garbrandt by decision. I just think he's going to be able to dodge the shots, well, hardly any, I don't think Trevin will throw many. And the ones he does throw, I just don't think they'll land, to be honest. And I think he'll be able to outpoint him on a decision. He might knock him out, but I think he's going to coast the decision out here just out of fear of getting flash KO'd like in his previous fights. Moving on, up the card, main card time, let's go. This is one of the best main cards in a very long time, I can't wait. Bo Nickal, Jamie Pickett. Everyone has to take Bo Nickal here. You'd be crazy to not. He's a hype train, but why wouldn't you pick him? He's so good. Obviously, he's insanely good at wrestling. His takedowns are mental. And his striking is good too, just because the threat of the takedown, drop down, so when's he going to shoot, and then he just throws overhands. The wrestler overhands, they all love to throw him. But I really can't see a way Bo Nickal loses this. Jamie Pickett's in trouble. He can't even stop takedowns from unranked middleweights, so I doubt he's going to be able to stop a Bo Nickal one. Well, I guarantee you won't be able to stop it. But Jamie's best chance is just to go out there in the first round and try and KO Bo. To be honest, he's got a very short time period, and after the takedown, it's all over for him, to be honest. When you're up against a wrestler of this acumen, I don't think he'll be able to get up anyway. And he's probably going to get subbed in the first round by Bo Nickal, Bo Nickal's been working on his jiu-jitsu. He's obviously very new to mixed martial arts as a whole. So I think when you combine an 10 out of 10 wrestler with improving jiu-jitsu every day, I think you're getting one of the most dangerous grapplers in the UFC history to be. And we're going to be going for Bo Nickal by round 1 finish. I don't think Jamie Pickett will make it out of the first round. I think this will be a very one-sided round, basically a 10-7 round, if you will, if there is no finish. And I can't wait for it. Big fan of Bo. I think he's a great fighter, and I really do think he can be champion one day, as long as he improves all over his game. So that's the pick. Jamie Pickett doesn't really have a chance, in my opinion. He's got literally a puncher's chance to land a knee or an uppercut on the way in for Bo, but that's about it. Because I don't even think his striking's better than Bo Nickal's, to be honest. But that's my pick. Moving on up the card, Mateusz Gamrot, Jalin Turner. We'll be taking Gamrot here. I know it's on short notice, but Jalin Turner was preparing for Dan Hooker, who, in my opinion, would have got flatline KO'd by Jalin Turner. Because I think Dan Hooker is one of the most overrated lightweight fighters in the world. How is he ranked? I don't know. He's incredibly slow. Funny guy, though. And Mateusz Gamrot's cardio is insane. He's not going to slow down at all. And he's a wrestler, not a striker. And I think he'll just make this one a hugfest. His striking's decent too. But yeah, I think if he makes this one a hugfest to win it easily, he can do that. He's got better cardio. And it works for him. He just wants easy money and a way back up the rankings after his loss. So, I mean, why wouldn't you, you know? And yeah, I think Jalin's striking's good, but I don't think he's going to have much of a chance to strike. Gamrot, he's calm, he's composed, he's got experience against top level guys like Benil Dariush that Turner doesn't have yet. And unfortunately, I think this will knock Turner down the rankings quite a bit after he takes his loss. I think to take Gamrot compared to Hooker, they're so different in fight styles. And obviously, I think quality of the opponent, I think Gamrot is a much tougher opponent. I think you'd need an entirely new training camp just to train for his style and how much tougher he is. I think everything's against Turner in this matchup, to be honest, and I think it'll be an easy paycheck for Gamrot. So we're going to be going for a Gamrot decision. I think he'll just 10-9 every round, to be honest. As long as he uses his wrestling, he'll be absolutely fine. Or maybe he could find a finish in the final round if Turner gasses from being stuck on bottom the entire time. And he might be able to get a TKO finish or something like that, just from top. You know, if he gets mount on Turner, he's in trouble. So yeah, we'll be going with that. And I think that'll be a good fight, though. I don't think it'll be an up against the cage kind of hugfest. I think it'll be more of a wrestlefest, which, you know, every MMA fan appreciates good wrestling, as long as it's not just pushing them up against the cage like a certain bantamweight fighter. Moving on up, welterweight bout, Geoff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. The pick's Shavkat, but Geoff Neal's not a bad underdog. I think he's kind of getting disrespected in the odds. Plus 390. Yeah, that's a bit crazy in my opinion. Geoff Neal has got good stand-up, as you've seen. He pieced up Vicente Luque and cracked his chin. And his jabs are good, which could give Shavkat problems. And yeah, I think Shavkat will win this round. I think he'll get a takedown eventually off a trip or something in the clinch. And after that, I think he can sail. I think he'll probably be able to lynch up a submission on Geoff Neal. And once he gets him to the ground, I think he's basically won the fight by then. Because if he knows he can get him down the first time, he can get him down the second time. I'm going to be trusting Rakhmonov to have the better cardio in this matchup. And he's just the younger, fresher fighter. And he hasn't took a whole lot of damage in his career. I've seen him be wobbled before. But I think this striking, I think Shavkat's probably still got an advantage due to kicks and stuff like that. But Geoff Neal's boxing is good. It's probably Shavkat's toughest fight in his career. But he's still improving, you know. He's young, he's still improving. So I'm going to be taking Shavkat Rakhmonov by, we'll go for second round submission over Geoff Neal. I think Geoff Neal's going to have a good start, going to look alright, going to get kicked a few times but keep on coming forward. And eventually I think they're going to get up in the clinch and he's going to get taken down. And from then on it's going to become a Rakhmonov masterclass. I mean, he's just going to outshine him on the mat and show all his new skills. He's a good submission guy, you know. You can rely on him to get... you know, he stays active on the ground and he makes it interesting to watch, so we'll give him that. So yeah, we'll be taking Shavkat Rakhmonov by second or third round sub. We'll go with second round. Moving on up, the co-main event, women's title fight, Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. And in my opinion, I think it'll be silly to not go for Shevchenko in this fight. You know, she's still probably the best right now. I think she loses to Blanchfield, to be honest, but I don't think she loses to Grasso, because Grasso's best attribute is her boxing, but Shevchenko's a really good kickboxer, so I feel like the threat of the kicks kind of negates Grasso's boxing, and also it isn't good enough to outshine how good Shevchenko's kicks are. And also Shevchenko's more well-rounded. She can mix up the takedowns, stuff like that. She's got a bit of a submission threat too. She's quite dangerous on the ground, Shevchenko. She's obviously, we've seen what she's done to her past opponents, getting them in crucifixes and stuff like that. So yeah, she's the more well-rounded fighter. She's got decent chin, she's got good cardio, and I think she'll win this fight. And then I think she's probably going to fight she's maybe going to fight one more person and then fight Blanchfield, or just fight Blanchfield, and I predict she will lose to Blanchfield. I think she'll get submitted by Blanchfield. I think Blanchfield's way too good for her on the ground. And yeah, that's my prediction for her future. But right now, the belt's going to stay on her shoulders. I'm pretty sure of it. So we're going to be taking Valentina Shevchenko. We're going to be going for third round, fourth round TKO. I think Valentina Shevchenko's going to get it done. Alexa Grasso, she's not used to them 5-round fights, and I think the pressure of fighting, such a step up in quality in all the people you've beat on your way to the title, I think it's going to be too much for her. And there is a blueprint of how you beat Shevchenko, and it's more wrestling heavy. She struggles more against wrestlers, good wrestlers, might I add. And Alexa Grasso does not fit that blueprint, and I think Shevchenko will remain the champion for that reason. So we're going to be going for Shevchenko TKO. We'll go for body kicks to the high guard boxer in Alexa Grasso. I think the body kicks will hurt her. She'll crumble, and that will be the end of that. Moving on up the cards to one of my most anticipated fights in a very, very long time. I can't wait. It's the main event of the evening. Jon Jones versus Ciryl Gane. A lot of people aren't going to like this, and I've made a video on it in the past. I'll link that. But I'm going to be taking Ciryl Gane to get the upset over Jon Jones. And why? Well, Ciryl Gane, he's the bigger fighter. He's got better footwork, and he's got better striking as far as I'm aware. And furthermore, all the advantages that Jon Jones has in his previous fights are negated in heavyweight. He doesn't really have a size advantage. He's certainly not as big as Ciryl. I know he may weigh more, but Cyryl's muscle mass is greater than Jones, I believe. Jon looks somewhat soft. I know most heavyweights are somewhat soft, but Ciryl Gane is very, very athletic. He's a big guy. He's very strong looking. And he always weighs in a bit lighter, and he was fine against Ngannou. And Ngannou is definitely the biggest heavyweight in terms of muscle. So I think if he can clinch with Ngannou, I don't think it'll be a problem clinching with Jones. And Cyryl's clinch game is insane, so he should be fine there. Because Jon Jones usually does bully people in the clinch due to his size and his long limbs. I don't think he'll have that ability to do that in this fight. Cyryl's amazing in the clinch. He's got really unorthodox striking in it. And everyone's saying that Jon Jones is just going to pull him down and take him down and just take him into deep waters on the ground. I somewhat disagree, to be honest. I'm not saying Jon Jones can't take Ciryl Gane down, but I think some people are maybe overplaying how good Jones was on the ground, and they say his wrestling is good. Well, yeah, but he struggled against Dominic Reyes, and if you compare Dominic Reyes to some of the other opponents that Jon Jones has fought in the past, the theme is that Dominic Reyes is a big light heavyweight, okay? And if you look back 5-10 years prior to that when Jones was young, a lot of light heavyweights I don't think were really light heavyweights. A lot of them were just middleweights who didn't want to cut. If you look at Lyoto Machida, he isn't a big guy. So that submission, I just don't think it's as impressive. He kind of looks like a weight class below Jones, And Shogun Rua, he doesn't look that big. He isn't that big in my opinion. And Jon Jones does always looked like a light heavyweight, who cut weight, like a modern light heavyweight, who had to make weight to get in. But I feel like against the new age of fighters such as Thiago Santos, who's not even that big, but bigger than the old light heavyweights, he struggled with him. And he had a massive knee injury after he threw a kick in the second round, I believe. So if he's struggling against him, he's kind of like a really bad striking version of Ciryl, Ciryl is like a very high level fighter version of Thiago Santos in the way that he strikes. And Ciryl is probably going to be the strongest puncher he's ever faced just because of his strength advantage. And he's got good cardio. Cyryl's been in multiple 5-round fights. He's younger. Jones is 35 now. So, you've got to ask, how does the cardio hold up? You do notice a deterioration when people get into their mid-30s. So I assume it's probably going to be the same for Jones. And obviously, most importantly, he's had a 3-year layoff. And his last performance was not impressive. So he has a lot to make up for in this performance, and I just don't think he's going to be ready. His training partners are Walt Harris, and I can't even remember his name. He fought literally last weekend, and I watched him. It was Donatel Mays, I think, and his record is like 12-10 or something like that. He's not a good heavyweight fighter. He's not ranked, I don't think, anymore. And if you're training with them, don't expect Cyril Gane to be anywhere near their level, because Cyril Gane is so much more higher level than them. You're going to get a shock. So and also people say Cyril Gane's got no takedown defense. That isn't true. When you're fighting Gane, you're expecting, I better watch to not get knocked out. That's literally all I need to train is striking. So when you're getting, double legged by him, I would not expect that either. I don't think anyone expected that. So I imagine that Cyril Gane probably trained no wrestling in that entire camp. So that could be a reason why. And also the shock factor of, I didn't expect you to shoot a double leg. That's why you got it so easily. I was standing in a place you could easily double leg me. I get it. Not to say that Gane didn't take him down either, which he did. And also Gane didn't look bad on the ground. He did have bad moments of fight IQ though, which is slightly worrying. But I think with a camp of wrestling, I think he's improved that. And also, I'm pretty sure he was getting some Dagestani wrestlers in. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I heard that a long time ago. So hopefully they've been helping him improve his wrestling, because he's probably going to need it against Jones, who, if he's getting lit up on the feet, he's just going to try and clinch and wrestle the entire time and make it a bit of a hug fest. But we're going to be going for, I think, Cyril Gane. I think Jones is not going to be ready. The body kicks are going to add up. The leg kicks are going to add up, because John Jones' legs are still quite skinny, even though the rest of them's filled out. And he's going to just be wearing a lot of damage, and he's going to be getting into that fourth round tired. The investment shots from the front kick to the body are going to be paying off. And I think Cyril Gane is going to keep on landing the teeps, the jabs to the face, and eventually he's going to hit him with a big punch or a big front kick, maybe a head kick. Cyril Gane can throw them. And I think Jones is going to get wobbled properly for the first time in his career. And I think Cyril Gane is going to be able to, upset the odds and get one of the greatest wins of all time by beating one of the supposed greatest of all times in John Jones. So we're going to be going for Cyril Gane. Fourth round TKO for a shock win. But I would not rule off Cyril Gane decision. And I'm not writing off John Jones either. Obviously, he's a great fighter, and I'm sure he's prepared well. But I trust in Cyril for this. We're going to be going with Cyril Gane by TKO in the fourth. But I'm not going to rule out that he can't get a decision win over John Bones Jones. But that is my full fight card predictions for UFC 285. I'm hoping it's a great card. It looks like it should be. I can't see any reason why it isn't. If you liked the video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. Comment down below your picks for this weekend, because obviously it's a very hyped card. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.